This video is brought to you by Arcadia's Atoms and Tesla stake pools, professional, reliable, and proven in the incentivized testnet. Find us online at arcadiastakepool.com and please consider staking your ADA with us. Thank you. Welcome back to the channel. One of the questions that I've seen online has related to the uncertainty over whether a particular stake pool someone is delegating to will produce a block during a specific epoch. For example, during the incentivized testnet, there was the ability in the Jormungandr software for the stake pool operator to actually get a complete log of all the slot leaderships that their pool would have for the entire epoch. So of course the epochs in the ITN were only 1 day long, and so it became sort of a regular thing for stake pool operators to go on Twitter or to announce in Telegram, whatever their means of communication with their delegators were, to say, okay, this is how many slot leaderships that we have for this epoch, this upcoming epoch, and then their delegators would know that there's how many expected blocks were supposed to be made. At the moment, with the Cardano node, the Haskell node software, there is no such tool available to the stake pool operators. So everyone is flying blind in a sense because the node has to test for each slot whether it is the leader and eligible to propose a new block for the blockchain. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for such a tool to be released, there needs to be some sort of answer or solution to this ongoing question, a way for delegators or for stake pool operators to be able to know what the odds are that their pool will produce a block during a particular epoch, and if so, if it is likely to produce a block, how many blocks it could be expected to produce given the amount of stake, for example, that's in the pool compared to the amount of total active stake on the entire network. And the point of this video is to show you how to answer that question. So before I go into the details of this, so on this channel I like to do a deep dive into some of the technicals, but I know that not everyone is necessarily interested in going to that deep dive, so I'm going to give you the quick answer first for those of you that just want to have a tool that knows how that can answer some of these questions. So let me show that to you first, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up our website here, arcadiastakepool.com, and one of the things that's been added to that now, so if you drop in at the home page, of course this is what you see, and we have a new banner up on the web page that says try our new pool performance estimator. So just click on that and it will take you to this page called Estimate Blocks. And what this page is going to do is you will have to go look up the amount of active stake for your particular stake pool and then enter that as a number into this box and click the submit button, and then it will tell you for this particular epoch right now, and I will update this as time goes forward so that it's accurate for future epochs, but for right now it's calculating only for this particular epoch, which is epoch 212. And if you're listening to this video at a point future in time where we're beyond epoch 212, it will have been updated to work with the current epoch, whatever one that you're in. And so the way that you would use this is you have to enter in ADA the amount of active stake. So an obvious question is, well, how do I find what the active stake is? Well, there are a number of options that of websites that produce this information. So for example, you could go to pooltool.io, and as it brings up the list of stake pools here, you can see one of the columns says live stake and active stake. Now what you're interested in is active stake. Active stake is the stake that is active during the current epoch. Live stake has some other meaning Live stake says, what the current stake at this moment in time is, but that is not what's active for the current epoch, because if you watch my previous videos, you understand that there's this concept of the stake snapshot that is done at earlier epochs, and then that snapshot is used later on for the calculation of the slot leaderships. So again, what you're interested in is the active stake. Find your stake pool, grab the active stake number here. Of course, this is in millions here at the top, and enter that into the calculator on our website here at arcadiastakepool.com. So it says enter a number greater than 0. Obviously, 0 stake means it's not going to produce any blocks, and it has to be less than 1 billion ADA, because well, first of all, no stake pool is going to be very desirable above so many hundreds of millions of ADA, because it'll be beyond the saturation point in that particular case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a case, and I'm going to enter 10 million, and we'll just see how this works. So if I type in 10, and then I say exponent 6, 6 of course being the exponent for a million. So what I've written here is 10 times 10 to the 6th, or 10 million. And so we click, so that if your stake pool has 10 million ADA, you can come in here and enter it like this, or you could just come in and enter it as 10 million. There's 10 million, like that, and click the submit button, and it will bring up some text down here with the calculation to answer some of these important questions. So the probability of that pool with 10 million active stake forging at least one block this epoch, epoch 212, you have a 97.19%. Now that's forging at least one block, so that could be more than one block, but this is the probability of it forging not 0 blocks, so 1 or more blocks. It has a very high probability of doing that. Now, what is the expected number of blocks the pool will produce for this epoch? And that's coming out at 3.6. Obviously, it can't produce a fraction of a block. So what I would take from this is the expectation of that particular stake pool would be that it would produce throughout the course of the epoch between 3 and 4 blocks. So if it gets 3 blocks or 4 blocks, then it has performed as it should be expected to do within the bounds of the a fair probabilistic argument or calculation of what its performance should be. So these are the numbers, and you can you go find your pool, enter that in, hit the submit. So for example, let's say if it wasn't 10 million, let's say if it was 5 million. So 5 exponent 6, and we submit that. Then now, okay, if you have a stake pool with 5 million stake in it, then its probability of forging at least one block this epoch is 83.23%. And how many blocks could it be expected to produce this epoch? 1.8. So it'll probably produce 2, but anywhere from 1 to 2. Obviously, there's some uncertainty in this because of the inherent randomness involved in the process. So, but the expectation value of the number of blocks that it produces is somewhere close to 2. It could produce 3. Heck, it could even produce 4. It might even produce 0. But that's just the way the die rolls sometimes. So, but the expectation is that well, over time it should converge to this number. Obviously, this calculation is only good for this epoch, but this at least gives you some sort of reference to go by and to set your expectations by for how the pool should perform. And it's really the best that can be done in the absence of knowing exactly the leadership schedule for the different stake pools. So anyway, I just wanted to point this out. Also, you can go to ADA pools. So I just wanted to point that out, Adapools. So for example, you can search out a pool. I've brought up our Tesla pool here, for example, and you can see, again, in the description and the information for that, you have the live stake is right here. Okay, so live stake is right there. You can take the number for the live stake. I wish they'd make the text there a little bit darker. That gray can be hard to show up. But you can get the live stake from Adapools. I'm sure that you can also get it from the app, the Pegasus app as well. So check out all of these different tools, adapools.org, pooltool.io. They all show you the active stake. You want the active stake, and then you come over here. The only thing you have to do is you have to enter that number into there and click submit, and it will tell you the answers to some of these questions right here. Okay, so that's the short answer to this question. And so for those of you that are interested in how this calculator works and want to verify or have some confidence that the numbers that are being calculated here are correct, I'm going to go through with you exactly how I produce this calculation. And obviously, if you find any errors in it, or comments that you want to make, please, by all means, drop a comment on this video and I will take a look at it. I want these numbers to be accurate, and so your help in that regard would be much appreciated. I've checked it several times. I believe it is absolutely correct. So let's get into going over how this actually works.